worked with students for 15 years. Throughout that time, many of them came to me and shared very difficult things that were happening in their lives. Moments of trauma, past and present, abuse, crisis, difficult moments that they did not know how to navigate, and they looked to me for help. Sometimes we partnered together well, and I was able to find them the tools and resources that they needed, as well as be a support system through a difficult time in their life. Then other times, the student would push back on me. After they revealed everything, I would try to get them help or I'd try to work with them, but they put up a wall and they started fighting me left and right. Even if I was just intentionally pursuing them, trying to meet with them, trying to hang out with them, just trying to check to see how they were doing, I got this pushback. So what do you do then? If any of you have faced similar, I would encourage you that you're not alone. Here's a couple of things that I did to help me overcome that. The first thing that was key for me to remember is it wasn't about me. Yes, I was the one in the moment that was facing it, but a lot of times I was a symbol or a stand-in person for that individual, for that student. They were treating me the way they wanted to treat somebody else. You see, students often push back if they're trying to test us to see whether or not they can trust us. Likely, if a student is pushing back on you, they have a history of failed help. Other people have said they're going to get involved, but then they don't. And so now they're going to test us and they're going to see, do you stick around even after I act out, or after I'm emotional, or after I break down, or after I act crazy? They want to see whether or not you mean what you said and you're going to walk with them throughout it. Or else they rationalize, what's the point? It's difficult, and that's something I've had to wrestle through a lot because my heart is for them and I want to help them. And yet when I get that pushback from them, it's often caught me off guard. But I've always done better when I remind myself, this one really isn't about me. I find that hurdle, at least for me, has been overcome when I remember a few key things. Number one is that I have to stay consistent. If I said I'm going to check in on them, I need to do that. Even if that means I set alarms on my phone or in my email or whatever I need to do so that I definitely stay on top of checking in with them like I said I would. I do not want to lose their trust or respect because I forgot and my life got busy, and it usually does. So I give myself that grace by knowing it's okay to set a couple of reminders so that I know to check in with them. The next thing to do is just to state why you're for them. There's a lot of times I've had kids act kind of crazy with me. I've had to sit them down and go, hey, I just need you to understand, my heart is for you. Here's what I believe for you. And I believe you are facing a really difficult circumstance right now. But here's what I see, the value in you, the worth in you, the future that you can have. And we can do this together. It's going to be okay. The other thing that I find I have to do a ton of times is continue reassuring them, letting them know, maybe your situation, maybe you can't get out of it, but I am still for you and I am going to stay with you. And I do believe you can find the healing that you're looking for. That reassurance, that voice needs to be louder in their life than whatever else is going on. And my guess is there's a lot going on. So I've had to remind myself to over communicate, to over reassure, and to keep remembering that this is very real in their life and they're still trying to figure it out. The last thing that I've needed to do on several occasions, even though it's not my responsibility, I do believe I can act as a stand-in and apologize for previous disappointments in their life. If I find out that someone else really did let them down, who said that they were going to help them, I can take that ownership as an adult and say, as an adult, that should not have happened to you. And I'm sorry that you trusted someone and they didn't believe, in the journey, that they didn't stay consistent, that they did not help you the way they said that they would. I apologize for that. You can even let them know, I may disappoint you. And it's not because you aren't worth it, it's because we're all human. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to stay consistent in your life. It just means I need your grace as well. Have having some of those open dialogues and that vulnerability can help push through that barrier that they're putting up to protect themselves. I have always found that making a plan to connect and then sticking with it and staying intentional to be the best. It helps to overcome their fear of being abandoned or their fear of being dropped, especially the more consistent and the longer that you can go through a timeline and stay with them through it. It's going to be one of the best things to build that bond and to rebuild that trust that they might feel is lacking between themselves and from help. And if it's inappropriate at some time, it's okay to be honest about how their behavior made you feel. It's okay to sit down and not have a venting session. This cannot be about you. Even though it hurts and it's frustrating, it cannot be about your emotions in this moment. You can use it as a coaching or teaching opportunity to just be able to say, hey, like, I hope you know that I am for you. I have been an advocate for you since you shared something with me. Like, I want to walk with you on this journey, but I need to let you know that it feels like you're trying to withdraw, or it feels like you're trying to see if you can ditch me. Like, it feels rough, and because I want to be here with you, this actually has hurt me. This has been difficult, and I was wondering if we could just figure this out. And is there something that you need from me, or is there something that I can give to you? Because I feel like we're fighting each other right now instead of working alongside of one another. And I think if we work together, we're going to get through this better. Now, all of these phases might happen all together in linear form or all over the place. I happen to believe that you kind of cycle through them a bunch of different times, but those are some of the things that have helped me when I've worked with a student, so I can get through that barrier, earn their trust, and get them the help that they're looking for.